When I started seeing promos for a new comedy in 2017 starring two of the funniest guys in both TV and movies, I figured that would be an automatic banger. Throw in a supernatural premise, sounds like a lot of fun.
I work for the Bureau Underground. We investigate the paranormal and anything outside the scientific realm.
Is this a hidden camera show? Where's Alex Trebek?
Wait, did Alex Trebek have a hidden camera show? How did I miss that?
Oh, looks like we've arrived.
But somehow this show, Ghosted, was an absolute flop that got middling reviews and was canceled after one season. And I actually remember catching an episode on TV and thinking it was pretty mediocre. I was super interested in figuring out just what the hell happened here, so I decided to go back and watch all 16 episodes of Ghosted. And yeah, it's not that good, but I want you to be the judge. I'll explain the basic premise of the show, and then I'm gonna describe a full episode of the show just to give you an idea of what it was like, because the potential for something cool was there. But actually, the most interesting thing about this show is how the format and tone completely changed halfway through, kind of out of nowhere. I'll explain. So Ghosted is a sitcom that aired on the Fox network for one season in 2017. The show is basically a comedic parody of the X-Files. It follows two secret government agents, Max, played by Adam Scott, and Leroy, played by Craig Robinson, who investigate and solve paranormal mysteries in the Los Angeles area. Just like the X-Files, one of the agents, Leroy, is more of a skeptic while Max is a true believer. And also, just like Scully from the X-Files, it's kind of silly how skeptical Leroy is considering how often he is presented with undeniable evidence of the supernatural. Unlike the X-Files, Ghosted is not that great of a show. For one, and I'm still annoyed by this, the show is called Ghosted, which is kind of corny, but you know, it's a comedy. You can forgive a pun here or there. No, the problem is that there are almost no ghosts in this entire series. In fact, I'm pretty sure a ghost is only encountered in one episode. The show is called Ghosted. That's false advertisement. I thought this was gonna be like an irreverent comedy about a goofy ghost hunting duo. It's not that at all. There is one episode about a goofy ghost hunting duo, and they do find a creepy alternate dimension. But you know what they don't find in that episode? Ghosts. I know it's not that big a deal, but just name it something else. So Max is a disgraced astrophysicist who works at a bookstore.
Oh, are you going through a divorce?
No, nothing like that. God, how awkward would that be? No, she was abducted by aliens.
Sweetie?
Okay, I know what you're thinking. I am not crazy. Actually, I was a professor at Stanford Astrophysics.
Yep. Okay.
Child.
Let's
You know,
look at
even if I was crazy, doesn't mean you can't buy the book for your husband. They're unrelated.
And Leroy is a former LAPD detective who has been demoted to being a mall cop.
Oh, Eddie, come on, man.
What's up, Leroy?
Other crazy people got to drink out of there. At least aim it. I got to mop that up. Excuse me.
Both men are shells of their former selves, but get a new lease on life when they are recruited into the Bureau Underground.
The Bureau Underground was created under the Truman administration to protect humanity from paranormal forces that threaten our existence. Extraterrestrials, poltergeists, cryptids.
Have y'all seen a Yeti?
Yes.
These two were specifically chosen because a Bureau agent in distress named Agent Checker asked for them specifically by name.
I may be in trouble. Anything happens to me, Detective Leroy Wright and Dr. Max Jenner, they can help.
But nobody knows why. These are just a couple of random losers. More on that later, by the way. I think it's kind of a lame twist, but I'm happy to hear your opinions about it. Max and Leroy meet all the other main characters: Captain Ava LaFrey, the no-nonsense boss; Annie, the level-headed weapons and tech expert; and Barry, a scientist who was mostly just kind of an obnoxious dweeb.
I've been using this new coconut oil, and my hands feel like an ancient river pebble. Here, have a touch.
Ew. No, it hasn't even absorbed yet. You're dripping.
After investigating Checker's disappearance and seeing some truly weird shit, Max and Leroy decide to work with the Bureau to learn more and become official field agents. But Max specifically has a particular interest in the Bureau's activities.
What's going on over there?
Oh, that's just a group of people we've been monitoring who have a remarkably similar abduction story to your big man today.
Oh my God.
What?
That's my wife.
And honestly, all that is interesting enough as the premise for a unique comedy show. But here's the thing, all that setup about the captured agent who requested Max and Leroy by name and all the stuff with Max's wife is not really followed up on throughout the whole series. Well, that's not exactly true. There is episode 3 where Max goes to visit his wife in a mental health facility, and this happens.
Do not look for me.
What?
This scene has copyrighted music in it, so unfortunately I have to mute it. Also, I'm pretty sure in real life a facility like this would have reinforced windows to prevent something like this from happening, but you know, it's a TV show. And we pretty much learn nothing more about what's going on with that until the final episode of the series, which is a whole nother thing that we have to talk about later. This final episode really just came out of nowhere. Instead, Ghosted turns into a Monster of the Week style show, which to be fair is kind of what the X-Files was on the surface at least, but unlike the X-Files, there's no real consistent lore being built, which sucks for me because I love lore. But listen, I can ignore all of this if the show is funny. So the question is Ghosted funny? Kinda, not really. Which I don't really get because both of these dudes have had me on my ass laughing multiple times in their other comedic performances. I don't want to do a breakdown of every episode because the show is very formulaic and predictable. If you want to watch it, I'll leave a link in the description, but I will go over one episode so you get the gist. Let's do episode 5, The Machine. So every episode has a similar structure. It begins with LaFrey briefing the team about some sort of potentially supernatural event. I'm gonna actually play this scene for a while so you kind of see what I mean.
Yesterday, 2 teenagers reported seeing this elderly gentleman disintegrate before their eyes into a pile of dust and bones. We tested the bones and identified the man as Dan Brewster. Now here's where it gets interesting. This was Dan 1 week ago. He was 25 years old.
What?
Barry, did you just like his photo?
One last light from my main man, Dan.
So a person aging decades in a matter of days is just a severe case of progeria? I mean, have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, we have never seen anything like it.
Sorry, Leroy. Progeria is a disease where the cells in the body go through their life cycle at an accelerated rate.
You think you're the only one who knows what progeria means? We've all seen Benjamin Buttons, bro.
Well, actually, Benjamin Buttons is just the opposite.
So rewind it.
Wait, what are we watching on a VCR? What's going on?
What's wrong with VCR?
You have a VCR?
Yeah.
What movies do you have?
I got all the Rockies.
Rockies? The Rocky movies?
Yeah.
You have Rocky 1, 2,
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
4, 5,
Yeah.
Rocky Balboa, Creed,
Yeah.
Sweet.
Like, did any of y'all think that was funny? Am I missing something? Anyway, it turns out the victim was a golf caddy for the CEO of a pharmaceutical company that is doing sketchy anti-aging experiments, and our caddy was possibly a human guinea pig. So Max and Leroy go undercover to the country club where the CEO golfs. I do like how Max and Leroy are generally shown to be competent in their specific area of expertise. Like, Leroy is a detective, so he has an excellent eye for detail, which causes him to realize that the CEO isn't their guy.
But Stafford's definitely not our guy. He's way, way too dumb to be a mad scientist.
It's actually Campbell, the president of the country club, that they should have their eye on.
Oh my God.
Honest mistake.
What's up with Campbell?
And normally, Max's knowledge of the paranormal would make him seem like a lunatic, but in this context, it's exactly the information that they need.
There are ancient legends in South American folklore of the Kronos machine, designed to perfect and heal the human body. Only problem was they were built within sacred trees with powers of invincibility, but also evil. Their ultimate goal, immortality.
So once again, Max and Leroy don costumes and go undercover, this time to a fancy party, and this time Annie tags along, posing as Leroy's wife, and she learns some juicy info from Campbell's wife.
I'm sorry, just before that, you were saying something, there's a secret room?
Yeah, it's downstairs. I'm not allowed in it, of course. You belong in 3 rooms. The kitchen, the bedroom, and the doll room. We can't have children, so I just have a room full of 300 dolls.
Leroy, there's a secret room downstairs.
Mo Collins really is the master of playing an alcoholic basket case. So this show does this thing where you're maybe finally starting to become interested in what's going on, but then it seems like it becomes hyper aware of the fact that it's supposed to be a comedy and just shoehorns a random terrible bit in there that goes on for way too long.
Keep Campbell occupied.
I'm gonna slip into the members area downstairs and see what I can find.
Hey, it's Max. Leroy, that sounds like a great plan. Side note, we should use these new comm devices all the time. They're super cool. Over.
Max, stay off the comm unless it's for the mission. And you don't need to say over.
Copy that. I'll do mout instead of over, okay? Mout.
Mout.
Yeah, it's a combination of Max and out, so you'll know it's me. Mout.
I don't like it. Sounds too much like mouth. Don't do it.
Guys, stop. We're just gonna use over. Over.
Okay, well, that's what I initially wanted, so great. Mout. I mean, over.
Maybe it's just me. Anyway, Max blows his cover and gets thrown out of the party while Leroy gives us a little exposition for something we probably already figured out at this point.
Guys, I've got pictures of Campbell from tons of different eras. It's like the guy's been alive for hundreds of years.
Then Annie goes outside to catch up with Max.
I just noticed you don't have on your wedding ring. Not that you should or you shouldn't. I just noticing.
I didn't think it was right for my waiter character, so, you know, undercover and stuff.
I mean, also my wife did slam my head against the table and tell me not to look for her.
But mostly it was a character choice.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so many of the episodes try to build this Max and Annie story, like maybe they have a crush on each other. And listen, I'm a sucker for a good cheesy love story. I'm a basic bitch. I've come to terms with it. But something about it feels weird to me. I think it's that these two actors simply don't have that much chemistry, or maybe it's just the mediocre writing.
You know, there is a theory that sinkholes are the result of a secret society of mole people.
Jinx!
Double jinx! You owe me 2 thumbs.
What?
You don't do 2 thumbs?
I didn't.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't really go anywhere or build towards anything. They just occasionally have awkward conversations that are more cringy than cute.
I have so much stuff that I have to figure out.
Sure.
And you have some things to figure out too.
Totally.
Once that's all dealt with, though, maybe.
Maybe.
So, all right.
Cool.
So Leroy gets caught by Campbell, and now he might be the next sacrifice to the Cronus chair. Yeah, that random thing that Max proposed out of nowhere is exactly the situation that they're dealing with. Pretty lucky. And the crew once again reiterates something that we definitely already understand by now.
So if that's true, that would mean that Campbell's at least 150 years old.
Annie and Max sneak back into the house to try and find Leroy. And here we get the first time that I actually laughed in this episode.
Okay, so how do we find Leroy? I mean, it's a secret room. It's a secret.
Oh, I will find it. Believe me, I know these places. There's always an item that reveals a secret door. Like an oddly placed wall sconce.
They find the real secret entrance and confront Campbell with a very mediocre fight scene, but it's a comedy show, I guess I can give that a pass. And they destroy the machine, which vaporizes Campbell. GG. And of course, the episode ends with another inexplicable bit.
If you're immortal and an alligator eats you, like what happens? Can somebody walk me through the rules?
Yeah. Do you just live inside the alligator until it dies, or are you digested?
And what if the alligator's immortal? What then?
Oh my God, I don't know. That's the thing, is that you don't know.
My great aunt lived to be 119 years old, but she said the last 40 years were mostly coughing.
Oh, that's really sweet.
The thing about the jokes is that the performers are not really the problem. All of these are very good actors with solid comedic timing. It feels like the jokes should be funny because they're delivered well, but the writing feels so phoned in, which is a huge disservice to these actually talented actors.
Come on, man. Seriously? You all think this video is real?
No, it's totally fake. So let's just pretend that we never saw the video and give each other nicknames. You can be Jack Fantastic. I'll be Little Cupcake. You're... Never mind, I'm bailing on this.
No, let's keep going. I'll be Max Wellhouse. I'm bailing on this too.
Wait. Call me Swamp Cat.
No.
And the actual storylines aren't that interesting either. They're all like this. They're shallow and predictable, which again would be okay if it was funny. It's like they almost have something here. And I understand it's a goofy parody. They're not gonna try to win the Peabody on their writing. But I mean, give me something to latch onto. Interesting characters, cool mythology, actually funny jokes. I've always wanted to do one of those editing software match cuts. I feel like a real YouTuber now. But yeah, I'm editing this right now, and I feel like I'm being like a little too hard on the show. It's really not that bad. It's just like aggressively mediocre. There are definitely worse shows. As I said, the acting is really good. There's a lot of cool guest stars. The special effects are cool. It just has so little substance, and also it's not that funny. I guess I'm just disappointed because I love Adam Scott and Craig Robinson so much. But anyway, back to the video. I also understand that sometimes shows take a while to figure out their identity, and maybe with another season they could have figured some stuff out, but I can only go off what was actually made. All of the episodes follow this same formula. LaFrey briefs the crew about a paranormal event, Max and Leroy go undercover and almost mess everything up, and they encounter and often battle supernatural creatures, like zombie children, alien nuns, a succubus, and the one ghost. If you enjoy a shallow action comedy that's maybe funny sometimes, maybe check out Ghosted. It's a surface level romp with a silly new adventure every episode. That is, until we get to episode 10. So apparently Ghosted wasn't getting the reception that Fox wanted. So after 9 episodes, they gave showrunner Kevin Etten the boot and replaced him with Paul Lieberstein, who you might know as Toby from The Office, and who you might not know was in charge of The Office for 3 of its 9 seasons. It seems like he was hired specifically due to his experience on The Office, because the tone of Ghosted changed completely after he arrived to more closely resemble The Office style workplace comedy. So starting with episode 10, the pace of the show is slowed down. It's now filmed in that handheld camera guerrilla style like The Office. It truly feels like a completely different show. This episode opens by revealing that the Bureau has not had any cases lately.
All right, look, guys. I know that things have been slow lately, and that is hard on all of us, okay? Maybe especially me, because I recently had to move my mother into an assisted living facility, and let's face it, work was a welcome distraction. But she just can't be on her own anymore. She thinks she's on the Titanic, not the ship, but in the movie Titanic. She keeps asking to talk to the director.
And they use this opportunity to make a self-aware joke about how this show is about to change.
Yeah, I got a question. What happened to all the paranormal crap? We used to have like a monster week. Now it's nothing for 3 months.
However, during this slow day, Max makes an interesting discovery.
Oh my God.
And trying to figure out who bugged the Bureau is a mystery that actually spans the rest of the season. They completely dropped the Monster of the Week thing. And in the next few episodes, we meet more Bureau employees like the wisecracking Linda.
Barry, thank you. I think I speak for everyone when I say you're an inspiration.
Okay. What?
And the weirdo Bird.
It's the Scientologists. The aliens who are in cahoots with the Scientologists.
Okay, Bird, would you mind getting the binoculars and seeing if there are any raccoons around?
Okay, I know you're being dismissive, and I know that you know that I have a strong interest in raccoons, but why not look?
And we also meet Merv, who was called in to replace LaFrey as the captain.
Effective immediately, I am taking over as director of this department. Captain LaFrey here will be Is that French-Canadian? LaFrey.
I don't know.
Ms. LaFrey has elected to stay on in a different capacity. No less important, just...
Merv reveals that the government is basically doing some downsizing, and the Bureau Underground is not exactly on their list of priorities.
This department has never been classified. Did you think it was?
Things are pretty secret.
Yeah, secret like crapping your pants on the bus. No, they're embarrassed. Hey, ghosts and aliens? It's like a middle school haunted house.
Which is a bit weird since we know for a fact that extra dimensional monsters and demons and ghosts and shit are actually real. You'd think the government would be somewhat reasonable about how it allocates its funds. You know what? Never mind. But as you can see, they've expanded the cast. They want more of an ensemble rather than just focusing on Max and Leroy. I'm not totally sure why they brought in this Merv character. I guess maybe LaFrey was too likable and they wanted more of an adversarial dynamic between the boss and their workers. Since they're not doing monsters monsters anymore. I guess they still needed some kind of villain. So I've roasted this show a little bit, but it's worth mentioning that some people did actually enjoy this show. It has a 70% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I read a few reviews of this show while working on the video, and a lot of people mentioned that they hated how the show changed after episode 10, and they thought it was pretty good before. So while I was watching, I was fully prepared for this show that I thought was bad to become even worse. But I gotta say, I honestly like these later episodes a lot better. Don't get me wrong, it's still not that funny, but it is a little more interesting. Now, of course, I love The Office, so making the show more like The Office is good for someone like me, and probably not very good for people who preferred what the show was before. In the last few episodes, there are no more monster battles and barely any supernatural stuff at all. The show really starts to focus more on human stories and character relationships. For example, Ava starts to think that her demotion is some kind of grand conspiracy against her, and she goes on a personal quest to find the answers.
No, I'm not going to hold for one more second. Does Director Romslow know that it's me? Resigned or replaced?
But she eventually has to come to terms with the fact that maybe she actually just wasn't very effective at her job. Like, that's actually interesting. Or like in another episode, this happens.
What was long a rumor has now been verified. The U.S. government has spent tens of millions a year for over 6 decades on a black money program researching ESP, aliens, and ghosts.
God, when you read it out loud like that, it really does sound like a dumb thing to spend money on. Like, even I'm angry at our government.
By the way, I know it's just a joke, but it makes no sense for Max to be saying that. He's the one that's supposed to be into this kind of stuff.
Well, this is really bad. They outed our building. There's a map and an arrow and a picture of the place, and I don't think they needed that arrow.
Well, we are about to become a giant magnet for lunatics.
This, of course, scares everyone because this whole thing is supposed to be top secret, but it turns out they're welcomed as heroes for defending the city from monsters. I genuinely didn't expect that twist. They kinda had stuff like this before, but it was all very superficial and never really amounted to anything story-wise. Like, there's the odd couple tension between Max and Leroy, but only to the extent that it drives the plot of the current episode forward. There's no actual character development. And like I said, there's also the Max and Annie thing, which is never developed nor justified. And interestingly, these episodes actually kill the Max and Annie storyline.
But like just months ago, we were like flirting all the time.
You were flirting. You're great. I just don't feel that way.
But you said maybe.
Yeah, a big chunk of maybe is no.
Which sounds like a good thing, but they do it in pretty much the worst way.
Max.
I slept with Annie.
See that?
No. So Annie isn't the most developed character ever, but there's something there. She's highly competent and independent, but also kind of insecure, and she seeks validation. There's a lot of potential for an interesting personal character arc.
Okay, this sensor detects any non-human DNA. If a creature comes within 15 feet, it'll start to beep.
What's up with you and Max?
What? What are you even talking about? I have a boyfriend.
Who, freak throw guy? My sense is that's been over for a while and neither one of you wants to say it.
Okay, you are wrong, and that is so none of your business. And besides, how would you know?
I absolutely hate that they've reduced her to a sexual accessory to the relationship to the two male leads.
So, like, you and Annie? Or...
I know it's kind of a bomb to drop on you, and I was looking for the right time to tell you, but then a UFO happened.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, you know, Annie and I never dated. We were never even a thing.
Right.
So, who cares?
It's so random and kind of icky. I'm pretty sure the writers realized that the Max and Annie relationship was weird, and so maybe they just thought, maybe Leroy and Annie makes more sense. The plan was clearly to develop a relationship between Leroy and Annie. We even see them kiss in episode 15. But again, it's like out of nowhere. But I guess that's something that could be developed more with the second season. Outside of that though, episode 15 is probably my favorite episode. It's basically the season finale, although it is not the final episode. I'll explain that in a minute. So the Bureau Underground is called in to assist the FBI and the FAA with an unusual mystery.
At 11:56 p.m., Captain Mia Alvarez took off from Mexico City here, en route to Anchorage. 4 minutes in, the pilot saw a strange flash of light. She then landed here, over 2,000 miles from the point of departure. A trip that should have taken approximately 5 hours took 4 minutes and 11 seconds.
None of the other agents take them seriously. In fact, they are literal cartoon bullies.
I mean, we just want to study the flight data. Oh, right. I am so sorry. I was very rude to you. You want to check to see if there's a ghost in the box. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, we don't have the fancy detecting stuff that you guys have, like the backpacks that have CGI effects and all that stuff. But there's nothing spooky in the black box. Okay, Shaggy?
I didn't know that people who work in government were petty and immature like high school students. You know what? Never mind. Eventually, Leroy gets sick of all the abuse and the BU decides to solve the case on their own.
They don't know anything about paranormal. They have no training. They don't have dope sky blue vests with the PU swag. Only we can solve this.
In these later episodes, the Bureau Underground is reimagined as this bumbling group of underfunded goofballs. I mean, they were always kind of goofy, but they were originally presented as this highly competent and organized secret organization. But it's revealed that they're actually the black sheep of government agencies that no one takes seriously. I think this choice was made because it's more fun to root for the underdog, and a group of optimistic idiots is a trope we've seen in workplace comedies many times before. Honestly, it's kind of cool to see the team actually doing stuff instead of sitting around making bad jokes. So they eventually solve the case, which does in fact have a paranormal element, which vindicates our heroes, but there's still a problem.
Hey, Merv, listen, we just solved the case.
Solved it how?
The airplane dipped through a fold in time. You remember the triangle theory I was telling you about,
Holy
right?
mother of God, did you say this to anyone here?
Not yet.
Don't. Not ever. We're gonna listen to whatever theory they have. We're gonna nod our heads in agreement, and then we're gonna get on our special bus and we're going home.
But we have to tell Katzenberg at the very least.
Any one of you bozos says anything, even if it's a bing on your triangle, is fired. Okay, no discussion. Fired.
Of course, they do it anyway, and of course, nobody believes them. And it turns out Merv wasn't bluffing.
What, we're actually fired?
Whoa. You didn't think the wine was gonna turn things around, did you? You know, if I changed my mind every time I had 6 drinks, I'd have 4,000 wives. So, you know, I'd say you have to give those vests back, but you've earned them.
So the down-on-their-luck agents of the Bureau Underground drown their sorrows together and end up having a fun night, with their futures unclear. It's actually kind of a sweet scene. It's like you finally kinda care about these characters. Also, it's revealed that Leroy and Annie are dating or something. Maybe they just wanted to put the two black people together? I don't know. Also, in a surprising twist at the end, Max meets himself from the future. Why not? I guess you never know. Gotta leave some threads open in case you're lucky enough to get a second season. But then we get to the actual last episode that was aired. I think this was meant to be the original season finale before everything got changed in episode 10, and they just decided to throw it in at the end because it was obviously filmed before all of those episodes. LaFreya's back in charge, there's no sign of all the added characters, and the focus is now back on Leroy and Max. Most interestingly, they actually referenced the mysteries that set up this show to begin with.
So the night checker was abducted. We saw that big bald guy just injecting all of this energy up into the ship, right? Well, I think that energy is the alien species, and they were using the bald guy and whoever else as hosts.
In this episode, Max and Leroy finally find Agent Checker, whose disembodied head gives them more information.
I call this alien race the Illuminescents. They possess the ability to travel through the multiverse. In parallel universes, they already conquered many versions of Earth similar to ours.
Similar to ours?
And as you can see, some haven't fared so well. Now, I don't know what their end game is, but the aliens possess our bodies, our minds. They use up our resources, leave the Earth in a state of total destruction.
Okay, but again, why us? I mean, what do we have to do with this?
Well, in every reality where the aliens invaded Earth, you two came the closest to stopping them.
Us. Me and him. Max, Jennifer, and Leroy Wright.
A mall cop and a bookstore clerk?
Okay. In one reality, you're a lawyer, you're a truck driver. Another, you two run a successful doggy daycare business together. It's not the point. What matters is that every single time, you two always come the closest to stopping them.
I mean, I give that twist like a 6 out of 10. But again, maybe it's something that could have been developed more if they got more episodes. So Max and Leroy decide to try and save the world while Max's wife secretly watches from a distance. I think by this point, they probably knew they weren't getting a second season, and so they just put out whatever they had filmed. And Adam Scott and Craig Robinson both went on to do better things. Craig Robinson's character on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Doug Judy, is absolutely genius.
Grand Theft Auto, dog fraud. I saw the guy fake Pekingese. 'Twas a cat.
Plus, his Peacock show Killing It is very underrated. You should go watch it. And of course, Severance, starring Adam Scott, is maybe one of the best shows ever made. It's just so interesting to think about a show like Ghosted that had so much potential. It seems like it should have worked. It has a fun premise, it's full of talented performers, and it has 2 strong, proven comedic leads. It just never really had any direction or inspiration. So is Ghosted worth checking out? I would say not really, but like I said, there is a small community of devoted fans, so check it out. Maybe you'll like it. Thanks for watching. By the way, this is my alternate channel T1J2, and this video is being shared with my main channel audience, so you can consider this my official announcement of this channel. And yes, before I get any comments, I know that T2J would have been a cooler name, but I just don't want people to call me T2J. I already have one name. I don't want to. On this channel, you mostly find commentaries about weird, bad, and otherwise interesting media that doesn't really fit the scope of my main channel T1J. There are already a couple of other videos uploaded to this channel, so go check those out when you're done here. Also, make sure to subscribe to T1J2. I would love to reach that first milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Remember to be kind to each other, and I'll see you next time.